Last year, Tavon probably proved he's as effective as anyone against the run at his position. You were able to protect him some against the pass. Will he have a more expanded role in pass as the full-time Mike linebacker?
He will.
This year?
He will, absolutely. And you know, I take responsibility, and you know, I need to coach him better in coverage. And he is a very capable coverage player. And so I think one thing in him coming back, you know, is us, you know, joining arms and working towards that vision, you know. And so I'm excited for him to grow in that way, and you know, that makes him a more complete player.
The rover position is maybe the one area on defense where you don't have that starter returning from last year. How is that position coming along overall?
It's coming along well. I mean, you know, Asmar Bilal played it the entirety of the last year, and though he did it in the reserve role, I mean, he's got a lot of meaningful repetitions built up, and you know, we're bringing along young players at that position as well. And those guys, kind of the natural recruitment of that is like, you know, hybrid safeties, and that's kind of what you're seeing behind Asmar. And so I think the position is kind of looking like it should look, so to speak. You know, they just need time because this is all new to them and they're growing into it. And so it'll just be some time before we know, you know, how that depth is solidified and what the actual parts and pieces are.
Do you see that position more as by committee, depending on what the packaging or personnel is on offense, or obviously Drew was able to handle it?
He does a lot, right? That was one nice thing about having him out there. But yes, I would say, you know, that position can change based off what we're seeing from the offense. Absolutely.
When you have 10 starters back on defense like you do, what's the leadership like? What's the accountability like with this unit this spring?
You know, I think we've been pushing for, I mean, it's been a mandate from Coach Kelly for the past year, promoting this culture of accountability where you're seeing guys take responsibility. And I think that starts with individual ownership. And so I think where we are now compared to a year ago, guys are coaching themselves individually to bring or raise their level every day. And so our effort as a unit, our effort from the start of practice to the finish is cleaning up because everyone's responsible for themselves. Where we need to take another step now is creating a dialogue amongst the players. And that's not to say that they're out here yelling and screaming at each other. It's the opposite. It's the constant encouragement and the constant lifting up and keeping the long-term goals out in front. Those conversations need to go on between them and not coach to player. So we've gotten to a point now where we know these guys are driven. We know what they want to accomplish. They're pushing towards that. I think as long as we communicate clearly what the vision is for them, you know, they're pulling in the same direction. I think the next step for us is just to have that peer-to-peer communication. And I've started to see that the last 2 days, honestly, and that's been really exciting.